Welcome everyone to another episode of Bruvcast. I'm Raj.
I'm Mick.
We have super sub back on the pod. Situl, welcome back, man.
What's going on?
Welcome, bro. Welcome back, man.
How's it
It
been?
feels like
Good to be back. I was just counting the episodes, number 40.
I know, man.
Well done, well done, boys.
I don't even know
Thanks,
how we
Sean.
got here. I don't know how we got here. Well, you've contributed to
I know.
you know a fair amount. I think you're probably you've come on more than anybody else.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you are part of that 40, man.
This is 41, bro.
Start, isn't it?
This is
Is it 41?
Yeah, well, this is
This
41,
one will be
yeah.
41. Yeah, this one will be 41. It's mad, isn't it? 41.
How's it?
It's
Crazy. What's been happening, man? How you doing? Thank you for Situl actually helped me the other day, bro. Situl helped me put my TV up. Professional.
Oh,
He helped me mount my TV, man. I couldn't do it, bro. You know what I'm like with DIY, man.
come with the tools.
Yeah, I came with everything.
the journey to put it up.
Oh my
Raj, why do it?
Bruv, we couldn't find, the what's the thing
Joist.
that you put inside?
Bolts.
The bolts.
The
bolts.
We didn't have
and plug.
we didn't have the plug.
and bolt.
Yeah, we couldn't have we didn't know we didn't have the right bolts for the mount. But it was a mount that I already had. I had to take it down because we had to redo the wall. So then we had to go on a mission to get this done. And we had to finish it that day because the guy was coming to do painting the following day. So me and Situl literally went to, I don't know what, 4 different places, B&Q, some random hardware store, Screwfix, and then Tool Station. We went to 4 places to find the damn bolt. And even the one that we ended up getting from the last place wasn't the exact one that we needed, right? It was slightly smaller, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was one of them ones where you look at the job and you're like, yeah, this is going to take too long. Bro, you know what? Yeah, in my experience, there's no such thing as a DIY job that takes the amount of time that you think it's going to take. For me, it never does. It's always, it starts off simple and then something wonky happens and then you're gunmining for the next 4 hours. And that was literally what was going on.
You know, before Situl turned up, did you have everything ready? Like, okay, I got everything. This is everything.
Yeah. It was like he was coming to do a puja, bro. I had everything, bro. But
White cloth.
But if you do a puja, innit? But when the Maharaj comes, everything's ready, bro. He sends you instructions. I need a nariyal, I need this, I need kanku, I need all of that. So I had like the drill and the tools and everything was prepared.
All laid out.
All laid out, bro. Still came up and he was like, "Where's the bolts?"
Yeah.
I was like, the one thing you need, mate. The funny thing was, where was it, Rod? Was it Screwfix we walked in? So you have to put a plug before you put bolts in, right? So in the wall, so you drill the hole, you put the plug in, right? So we basically said we've got this
wall plugs. You mean the wall plugs?
Yeah. We need a wall plug. And the lady was like, "How many meters do you want?"
Yeah.
The lady that worked in Screwfix was like, "How many meters of wall plugs do you need?"
Yeah. How many meters?
Bro, it's a wall plug.
Yeah, bro. She was like, "Oh yeah, this one's let me just quickly measure this one, right? Oh yeah, it's 3 meters." And I said to Situl, bro, we're not getting that wall plug from this.
Nah, bro. She's telling you something different.
Bro, seriously, she said 3 meters. I was like, what is here?
3 meters. I mean,
that's what that is what she said. I mean, maybe she minced her words, but
did she mean 3 millimeters? Because the
millimeters.
She meant fair.
Yeah, she was but that doesn't inspire you with confidence, man.
No.
The person working at the place that you need to buy the thing from, and you're uncertain yourself what you need. When it's that kind of situation, you want someone that's going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
this is what you. Oh yeah, that'll be okay."
Yeah,
but she was just like, "Nah, this is 3 meters. Yeah, sorry, 3 meters should be fine." Like, I'm not making a fucking bridge. I'm trying to put up a TV. I'm not building a gorge.
Only a skipping rope.
Skipping rope, bruv.
Absolutely no confidence. Then we went next door, right? And then these were like 2 smaller ones. So the guy goes, "Don't worry, just glue them together." I was like, what are you on about?
Yeah, he was. That's another one, but that was opposite situation because he said what he said. Like when you just get two separate ones and you include them. He said it with such confidence.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought, no, Kotuna, bro. I thought Bhagwan no manas, bro. Yeah, still like chatting shit, bro. It's like you can't do that. You can't do that. You won't. You can, but it will take you the entire day, and you've already killed 3 hours trying to find this damn wall plug. So
I can imagine
just
the look on Roger's face when when Situl said, "Where's the bolts?" What? Yeah, and you went, you was like, one sec, and then did you go try and look for something for a bit, yeah? And you're like, you know what, Situl, we're just gonna have to get new ones, man. Fuck it, let's just go.
well, why did we have to get them? Because we had some of the bolts, but not all of them, right? There was something.
Yeah, so the wall plugs messed up when we took the TV off, like a couple of months ago, and the bolts were too big. So the bolts you had, right, was so big. You don't need them for a TV.
And you couldn't get wall plugs for bolts that size. That was what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then, we ended up getting you. Yeah. Yeah, that was a eventful Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Situl saved the day for that.
Sick.
Definitely.
At least it got done, innit?
But yeah, welcome, man. Welcome. How's it going? How are you? Yeah, you ain't come on this year, man. So how's the year been treating you so far?
This year's been good. It's been going so fast. We're already in March.
March, bruv.
No idea where this year's gone.
Yeah.
Just life, and then I think the blessing was like going away in Feb. So I've been trying to do like winter sun holidays. So after Christmas, when you're kind of depressed, you've got a couple of weeks of work. And now what I found the trick is to always go away in Feb.
They say that Feb is like a depressing month, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Like because Christmas, that you still have the nice, warm, fuzzy feelings from Christmas in like the first couple of weeks of Jan, but then as soon as Feb hits, there's no holidays coming up, and you've just gone past one of the biggest ones. So holidays, and the weather's crap as well.
Exactly.
So, but yeah.
That's a little savior. Yeah, it's been
nice.
It's been good. It's been good.
Nice. So before we get into the struggles, we have a listener question. And I don't know if we're going to have time, to be honest, to get into the struggles, because this is it's pretty controversial, bruv. Yeah, question. This came in. Hi, guys. Love the podcast. Been listening to you from day one. Really enjoying the great work that you're doing, and keep it up. I have a question for you to discuss. Do you guys think daughter-in-laws are actually treated like daughters? Wow. Okay. Well, firstly, thanks for the nice message, and thanks for reaching out. Who wants to start with this one, bro?
That's how you got Situl on.
Is this why we both sit on? Still answer these controversial questions, bro.
Is that what I got a text from Mick last night? Like,
yeah, bro. We're gonna need the reinforcement.
You know why? You got a text from last night because me and Roger having this conversation about this term on the last ep, yeah, where we said, you know, if we call Situl Tawijai, yeah, right. Bro, and I was like, let me test this out, and then it worked. And I messaged you, and you were like, straight away, man, and got ping, yeah, man, I'm down for the next one. So no, that's not the sole reason, bro. But we thought, you know what, it would be good to bring you back on, you know, especially for this topic. Definitely,
that's a good one. Well, I guess it's depends on what generation you're talking about, right? So I don't know, 30 years ago, I think it would have been a bit different, right? Like our parents or their parents, our grandparents' generation.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, man. Like, I don't know what it was like for your parents. Well, I mean, your mums, right? Basically. But there's definitely, I mean, my mom definitely has stories of, because the expectation back then was, and I'm just gonna say it, bruv. Yeah, you're not getting a daughter, bruv. You're getting a gamwari, man. That's what it was, bruv. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like a lot, and it would never be like, it would be unwritten. It wouldn't be like direct, but the expectation was You cook, you clean, you look after the kids, and you don't really, you know.
It was basically wife. The title of wife was secondary. The primary was extra pair of hands to lighten the load in the house, bro.
Bro,
That's it. As deep as
isn't
it
it?
is, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
workhorse.
I just feel like that generation was fucking tough, bruv. Like, my mom moved to the UK from Kenya. She only had her sister here, and everyone else was back at home, right? Her mom was back at home, her brother, his family, and she literally had to get on with it. Get on with it. You know, arranged marriage. You're living with effectively a stranger, right? You don't really know this person that well. And you're not only living with that person, you're living with their entire family, bro. Like his parents, his son, his parents, his brother. And nowadays you've got, like, you know, communication is so easy. You can be on the phone. Like Guggen's done similar things, right? She's left the US and she basically doesn't have like immediate family here. She has like cousins and stuff. But she's able to connect with her mom on a daily basis through like WhatsApp and, you know, video calls and all the rest of it. So it at least there's that connection. But my mom's like that generation, bruv. I think she used to get like those calling cards that you have to go to a phone box because you couldn't dial from home because there was no way to do it. So I think if you're talking generationally, different. Now, if you're talking, you know, modern day, I think that's up for debate, bro. Because I think there's pockets where it's the same, and there's pockets where it's moved on.
And also, there could be people who are, you know, women who are married into a family where they are treated like a daughter-in-law in some aspects, and then
50-50, half, bro.
Like a bride in others,
Yeah,
Whereas it's like it's not consistent at all.
Yeah.
So
well, when it kind of suits a family, right? You kind of switch it up.
Yeah. So when exactly. It could be anything.
Right.
It could be. So I think this is one where I think all three of us will probably go through, have different kind of, you know, like, you know, exposure to, because we've all got married in different circumstances, right? Where, you know, I lived with after I got married, I lived with my parents for what, 4 years almost before I moved out. So for me, it was like you don't know any different, right? Because obviously I'm nothing's changing for me except I've got someone else. Basically, I've got married now, and that's it, right? For me, like, you know, the day for her, everything changes, right? She's coming into a house full of people she doesn't know that well. Well, she knows well, but not as well as her own family, right? So, and also how things are done in her house are completely different to how they're done in my house. To the point where what what time tea's made, or you understand what I mean, isn't it? Like, I'm not saying
How
she's
you
making
make the
tea,
tea
but I'm
as
just
well,
saying,
bro. How you make
the tea. Yeah, but it's not. And then it's like, or, you know, when people are getting up in the morning and what, you know, what they're doing, or, you know, how everyone's day's going, right? Because you got to adapt to how people like things, and, you know, you're not just you're building a new relationship with every single person that lives in that house.
That's hard, bruv. That's fucking.
It's mad, isn't it?
That's
When you put it that way.
mad,
Now,
bruv.
me saying that,
Yeah.
I was like, shit. It's like we fret about going. You know, when you've got a role, you've got a new job, yeah. And I'm not saying being a daughter is a job, but when you've got a new job, yeah, great. You're you know, for the moment you sign that contract, you're like sick, and then when you're about to start, that's where you're like, shit. You're fretting because you've got to build relationships again, all over again.
Reality hits, bruv.
Reality hits, right? It's not all fun and games anymore. Like, you know. So actually, when you say it from that perspective, so then there's, you know, I don't know, man. I remember, like, for me, it was even a shock. So of how, you know, people were treated, as in my wife, basically, you know, she felt I remember my mom, right? And you're right. Back in the day, you know, the expectation of women was you cook, you clean, and some went to work as well, yeah. And you look after the kids, and you do all of that. And some, you know, had to give up their careers, because it was impossible, right? So my mom was one of them.
Or put them on hold, right? Or put them on hold.
Put them on hold. Put them on hold. I remember my mom gave up her career basically after she had me. So, you know, and we had a shop. So she was, you know, in the shop. Then she was looking after me, and she, you know, she was also doing cash and carry and all that kind of stuff, which she did for years, right? So she was doing everything, a lot of things, right? And I remember, I think, because she had to do all that, sometimes that rubs off on their mentality that, oh, I had to do this. So the person that your son gets married to, my son gets get married to, obviously, the times have moved on, but sometimes people's mentality doesn't move on.
Yeah,
Does
bro.
that make sense?
Yeah, the expectation sometimes sticks around, bro. Because it's like, I
sticks
did
around.
it. If I've done it, why
Yeah,
can't someone
exactly.
else do it? Like
But
that
in
kind of
their
thinking.
exactly. But in their mind, they're like thinking, no, they won't have to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They won't have to do that. But what you think in your mind and what annoys you and what comes to fruition is completely different as well, yeah? Because there's expectation. You can't. Expectation is mad because when you're actually bringing in a daughter-in-law, yeah, and then you're giving away a daughter. When you're giving away a daughter, you don't want her to have hardship and her having to do all that kind of work and stuff. But then when you're bringing in a daughter-in-law, yeah, there's the expectation of, oh, I would like some more help. Does that make sense? Even in this day and age, and even not even that though, yeah. I feel that when your woman's getting married, their mum also, it's like all these years, it looks bad. Apparently, it looks bad on them if their daughter doesn't know how to cook after she gets married, or she doesn't have to do
That's
something.
some bullshit, bro.
And I think that's so backwards, man.
Yeah.
They're not what? So
Why can't the son fucking cook?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true, bro. And I'm not much of a cook, but actually, that's the first thing is, it's not like the daughter, the mother or daughter can't say, "Oh, why can't he cook?" And it's not. It doesn't look bad on me that I can't cook. Yeah, it always looks bad on the two women, where the daughter-in-law and the daughter-in-law's mother. That she doesn't know how to cook. That's like a mark down, bro.
Bro, I've had
mark down.
My mom has heard people say that, oh, when you get a daughter, it's okay because she'll take care of all of your all of your food stuff and all of your, like,
That is.
That's what that's what the expectation is, man.
It's mad. This is. I think it's a lot of pressure on the women, like, because all those years you're meant to be enjoying with your parents and stuff, yeah, and you're learning, but they're not in training to be someone's wife. Does that make sense?
No, you're not, bro.
That pisses me off. Me off.
You're not.
You're
not.
When people say, "Oh, he's been well trained," yeah, like I've heard my mum say it. I'm like, that's not a fucking dog.
Yeah,
you can't say that to people. And Mick, you know what you're saying, right? There is so much gaslighting going on, like 100%. So much, right? Like, especially when you hear like our parents' generation talk to each other about their daughter-in-laws and stuff like that. Bruv, like when I'm in the room, yeah, I lose it. I lose it. I'm like, you can't talk like that. You just can't do it.
Give us an example.
Bruv, it's
like, also, still, before you give an example though, you know what, some of it, and that I think the parents of that generation, our parents of that generation, they don't realize they're even doing it, but that's because that's the norm. It's become the norm for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But anyway, go on. Sorry, Raj.
Yeah. So
you're gonna give examples.
So it must have been like an event. It wasn't a wedding, but some kind of gathering, right? So like it was like all my like parents and stuff was there, and I'm hearing these like all these aunts talking. Some of them relate to me, some aren't, right? And then one of them starts talking about how their daughter-in-law's been well trained. I'm like, okay, well trained, right? And then the other one comes in, like, yeah, my one goes to work, she comes home, she cooks. And so I was standing there, and before my mum said anything, I'm like, don't say a word. But bro, that's it. They're like pitching. They're pitching their daughter-in-laws against each other. But then, what they're also doing, they're kind of indirectly commenting on what Mick, what you were saying, kind of what the expectation is in their head of someone else's daughter-in-law. Bro, it's so messed up.
Hypocrite. And do you know
hypocrite, gaslighting, all of it.
do you know where the hypocrisy is? Especially where you're bringing a daughter-in-law and then you're giving a daughter away, yeah? You don't want your daughter to have to do... There's this mentality.
But then, yeah, it's true.
And then internally, you have this expectation where you're like, well, actually, yeah, in your mind, before you have the daughter-in-law, right? You're like, nah, they tell people, oh, no, I don't want her to have to lift a finger, yeah? Ito mari gani Lakshmi che, bro. Have you heard that? Have you heard that
line?
line? Yeah,
Lakshmi.
The line.
Lakshmi.
Bro, yeah, and it's like, wait, hold on. But when reality hits, yeah, and after the honeymoon period is over, yeah, with the in-laws, it's like she doesn't even wake up to help me clean, yeah, or she doesn't even, do you understand what I mean? She doesn't even do this or she doesn't do that, right?
Yeah.
But why not just have do you know what it is? Why not have it rather than telling a third party about your issues? Why not speak internally, yeah, to your daughter-in-law, not even to your son though, yeah, and say, you know what, in a nice way, right? Like, if you build a rapport with someone and get to know them before you try to ask, I don't know, man, before you even try to get favors out of them or even ask them to help with certain things, right? You got to tap into the mindset of the person, yeah? Because that person might not be helping because they feel that you like things a certain way, yeah? Or
You don't want to invade your space.
invade your space, right? Or they might be, maybe they're not as proactive, but maybe they've still got a good heart where they don't mind helping and doing what needs to be done, right? It is what it is, man. Every person is different, right? When we go to work, yeah, when you're at work, you've got good, valuable people in teams. Some people are not as proactive, but if you give them a job to do, they get it done at a good, high standard, right? Do you understand? I'm not trying to compare it completely like that, but as in, you're still, they are in an environment which they're not used to.
That's the bottom line. You take that person and you put them in a different house where for the past 30 odd years everything's been completely different, right? Good or bad, one way or another. There's gonna need to be an adjustment.
Mhm.
Like, and I think that's why my mum's being extra kind of like cautious, like what you're saying, Mick. You don't want them to deal with the same bullshit that you had to deal with. And then when she has a daughter-in-law, it's kind of like, well, I'm going to overcompensate. I'm going to like not even ask for anything or not even like tread on toes and give her space and everything. Because my mom had a rough time, bruv. Like, going back, if we're going back to Situl's point, like 30 odd years, when she was married and, settling in and stuff, all manner of stuff, bruv. She was telling me she once had to go to the hospital to get her earlobes were dropping because she was wearing like heavy like earrings. So she had to get them stitched. And it was like super painful. She was like in a lot of pain. And she came home and my bar was like, you need to cook. Everyone's going to be home soon. You need to get in the kitchen. And my mum was like, I mean, it's hurting a little bit. I might just sit down. She was like, no, you decided to go and get your ears done.
No, you
That's
know what
on
it is,
you.
and that comes from that your bar, right? Probably went through what she's dishing out.
And it's generally, bro, it
And so-
passes down, man.
yeah.
Like, and I mean,
Yeah.
my bar was a lovely lady, right? And my mum kind of eventually she
Yeah.
had a good relationship with her, but the expectation was because that she had when she was, it's a
Yeah.
fucking chain, bro. Like, she would have had the same expectations from her in-laws. It's like that
Yeah.
film Rocky or Annie,
yeah,
bro.
exactly
It's
that.
literally that movie, bro.
It's expectation.
literally that
And you know what it
movie.
is? What I don't know, man. Like, so it's like, why can't it just change? Someone down the line didn't want to change that dynamic where they're like, you know what? My daughter-in-law should just be herself. Give her the space to be
Yeah.
herself and comfort her, and like, as in, make sure that she's part of the team. Basically, she's part of the fam. That's the first thing you can do, right? But I feel like you're already in unknown territory, yeah. And then like mental health back then, this kind of stuff impacts your mental health and your decision making.
Of course, bro.
No,
and there's no
even from
support for
husband's
that.
perspective, there's no support. I'm not going to speak for
husband,
all the dads out there, yeah, but they're oblivious to it as well, isn't it? Because nothing's changed for them. Because from my experience, nothing changed for me.
Exactly what you just said, bro. It's exactly what you said. Everything is the same except I've got another person living with me, but my day to day, apart from obviously adjusting to marriage, my environment
exactly.
hasn't changed.
And
Yeah, you're right.
what I was going to say as well is for that person for the man where nothing has changed, whether it's in that back in the day or now, for the person that's with them, everything's changed. And if you're, there's always this, and this is a whole new topic. Yeah, I'm not gonna. We can continue on this, but this is one thing, one dynamic, and one little tweak. Yeah, which doesn't change is before the son always goes to their mum, right? If you continue to do that when there's the middle party there, as well, and that meddling still happens, then it's
No,
a
that's
breakdown in
it's done, bro.
complete communication. Does that
No,
make
it's
sense?
breakdown.
Yeah, but I was just going to say
remember-
that's
go on,
exactly
Phil.
what I was thinking. Where,
Yeah.
particularly like these days, right? There are situations where suppose like your wife told you something she doesn't like about what's going on in the whole family dynamic, and especially if everyone's living in the same house, and then you've got the parents saying stuff in terms of expectations. The husband ends up the person in the middle.
Yeah.
And it is a complete breakdown. But if the husband doesn't have the balls to either tell his wife or tell his parents, bro, it's
It's fucking hard though, because you're fucking stuck. You've got to,
Bruv,
You have
exactly.
to say something though, like because otherwise it's gonna be on your head, and everyone's gonna be minding your
and
business
you're
on both
literally
sides, bro.
shriveling up if you don't attack it. You don't know which way because you don't want to. Once you technically you haven't picked a side because there's nothing. There's no side to pick because it's meant to be one side. Yeah.
No.
But the moment you make your move, that's it. You've committed. Does that make sense, right? And it's like it's not going to go down either way. Well, either way, but still, man, you're 100% correct on that. Yeah, you've got to have the balls to fucking shut it down completely and rip it off like a plaster. That this does not stand because if it can happen once or twice because of inexperience in that situation, but at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, man, you will see the bigger picture and which way you want to swerve.
I still remember Mick gave me advice once.
Oh shit.
Why are you getting nervous, bro?
Oh, shit.
I remember Mick gave me advice, and he basically said, "Look, you're gonna be in situations where you'll be stuck in the middle, and majority of those times, or pretty much, actually, no, I think you said every single one of those times, you have to take her side, your wife's side. You have to, because the moment that you do not take her side, you've basically isolated her. She's by herself. And even if it hurts you, and even if you know that she's in the wrong, you can still tell her, and you can still voice that to her after, the blowout has happened, or you've had a discussion as a family. You can still say, look, this is what I think. But in terms of how the dynamic is, and if there's a debate happening, you have to be by her side. That has stuck with me, bruv. And I don't even remember when you told me. This was way before I was getting married, bruv. Yeah? And you told me that, and I was like, fuck it.
Someone told me that, bruv. I jacked that from someone else, bro. It's worked a charm. I'm not gonna lie. That's the only. If anyone asks me for marriage advice, that's the only thing I say, bro. Anything else, I'm like, you know what? You just fucking pray for God.
Yeah. But exactly, mate. So what about those situations, right?
Yeah.
Where actually the daughter-in-law and the parents get on so well, they're on one side and you become isolated.
Oh, bruv. I don't know how I would react in that situation. But so what? They're just constantly out after you about everything.
Yep.
Actually, that has happened. Do you know what? You just got to take it, innit? Actually, I think in that situation, it's casual.
That's a better problem to have. That's a better problem.
You must have done something wrong,
right?
Or you must not be doing something right, Yeah. You must have done something right. Obviously, that the fact that they're getting along like that and they're on your back, that means that whatever they're saying is pretty much something you need to action and do. Yeah. because two forces when they meet like that, yeah, and they, you know, they basically team up to obviously have a go at, or I don't know, correct something with the son and the husband or whatever. I think, yeah, I mean that's a good space to be in. I don't think that's a negative at all, right?
Like an intervention.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope it's not intervention. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's true.
I've,
Right, but
I've had
go
that.
on.
Trust me,
Yeah,
I've had a couple of the situations actually.
yeah,
Where so everyone telling me, and I'm like, I'm not backing down now.
yeah,
Obviously, I lose that fight, but
yeah,
it's what it is, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, I lose most fights when it's just my wife, mate. So
Yeah, no, I don't even bother with that.
yeah.
Like, you take it, you win, whatever you want.
I think there's truth into happy wife, happy life, man. I think that is whoever made that up or came up with that theory. It definitely makes sense. But one thing, let me ask you a question as well, yes, because we're on that. Well, both of you.
No.
You just said because we're on that same thought process. What if no one wants to rock the boat? Neither party ever wants to rock the boat.
Oh,
Yeah. So you don't want to tread on anyone's toes at all. So are you getting along? Yeah, you are. But sometimes you need to call each other out and have those tough conversations because if you step on each other's toes too much, okay, yeah, fine. But at least there's communication there of what you like and what you don't like or what's gone wrong and what has, even if it is arguments and whatever. But there's that other end of the spectrum, yeah, where you're like, oh no, I don't want to, the in-laws are like, nah, nothing kill because in a kotu lakse or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And the missus is like, you know what? Just let it go, man. Your mum did this, but you know what? I just want to tell you about it, but I don't want you to go and tell your mum about it, yeah.
And then
But
your mum will say the same thing, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But in that case, so I get so pissed off with both parties.
And it's small stuff. It's
Small
small
stuff.
stuff,
So I'm like,
bro.
if you just went direct, yeah, because now it's in my head. So
Yeah.
I've in the past I've made the mistake of trying to be the mender. The son.
Yeah,
You
no,
want
you
to be the
can't,
person who
bruv.
men
Yeah.
things, right?
that's
And I'm like,
dangerous.
That's a full-time job, bro. Because you
dangerous.
know what? Some of those things they just need to. That just needs to be like fixed with the
Yeah.
people, not
But
by you.
what happens though in that situation is over years, because you've got that same dynamic, right? You things fester after. Does that make sense? And then that just circulates in your mind, and you're like, oh. And then that's it. You know who's had it? You've had it. You know why? Because you're gonna get it from both ends. Or one party thinks everything's casual. We've got a great relationship. Do you understand? Yeah. And then the other party's like, nah, man.
It's exactly that, bruv. Like is what you've described is what the deal is for us.
Yeah, same.
And it's because we're also very new, right? You still technically we're newly married, right? 2 years. So I think it's
I think
this kind of like treading on eggshells on both sides.
Yeah. Do you know what?
And I don't want to offend. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to come across this way. I don't want them to think this. But I have an opinion which I want to get across to them through you.
Yeah.
And your job, right, is to go and tell them to do this.
You're the negotiator. You're Denzel Washington.
You're basically Denzel, bro.
You have to crack a few eggs to make an omelette sometimes.
That's it, man.
Raj, I think it will take that one time for something drastic to happen, and then it will be all cash. Then you won't be worried about eggshells.
I mean, it's fine, right? Like, I think I would rather have it this way than any other way, at least for now. Like, I think, there's still, the relationship is good, the rapport is good. We haven't lived with them, right? We never lived with my parents. So I think that is a different factor as well.
100%.
Because they didn't like that whole kind of like you're plucked out of your family and you're dropped into another family and another dynamic. That never happened for Gagan because we were living like the two of us from day one. So I think that has softened. It has been a softer landing compared to, you kind of just landing straight into. So wait, all right. Let me ask you both a question. Yeah.
Oh God. What is it?
If I waved the magic wand, right, and it was the whole fucking dynamic was completely swapped. The expectation was completely swapped. And this does happen, actually. It does happen because there's a name for it. But if you were Gharjamais, yeah, and living with your in-laws, how would you be like? What would be the way that you would operate? Would you be the eggshell treading vibes, or would
Do you
you
know
be
what?
like
I think
something
with my
else?
in-laws, yeah. And I'm not paid to say this, yeah. This is not a paid advertisement, bro. Yeah. But let's just put it this way. I've got a great relationship, yeah. But I don't know if it's because they don't live with me. I've never lived with them, right? You never know. But I love so I think I'll be on eggshells. Yeah. I'll have imposter syndrome. I'll be someone I'm not. So I'll try to overstep it. I'll try to be proactive and but man be cleaning. Well, cleaning's my thing though, isn't it? Yeah, come on, man. Cleaning is
You'll
my
be,
thing, yeah.
yeah, it
And
is your
they
thing.
might, it is my thing, right? Cooking is not. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You'll have the marigolds
every
on,
Sunday,
innit?
bro,
Every
I'll be
Sunday.
Windex, window lean, or whatever it is. Yeah, Mr. Sheen, shake and vac. I'll bring it back all from the 90s. No, I'm just saying, but I think I would have imposter syndrome because you're there, you're trying to please, isn't it? At the end of the day, so I think but even now, even before, right, when we first got married, even though I wasn't living with him, obviously, I was treading on eggshells because you're trying to be the person that's good enough for their daughter at the end of the day. You've got other issues,
Yeah.
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 Your wife's trying to,
Yeah.
be the person who's good enough to be, be in someone's family at the end of the day, right? Even though they are, and sometimes it's like they're too good for the family, but you're trying to earn your merit and stars, and patches or whatever from another perspective altogether. So I think even now, obviously now I've been married for so long, I'm just so comfortable. Like you walk in there, I'm in the fridge, and you understand what I mean. You're part of the fact. You're made to feel
That's your
part of the
family
family
now, isn't it?
But
You've
sometimes,
grown.
the sad thing is,
You've grown
sometimes
together.
just because you, as a son-in-law, feel part of the family doesn't mean, even though you're not living there, you're the daughter-in-law who actually has lived, spent time and lived in the same house may not feel the same. Because all parents aren't the same, right? Their upbringing and their values and how they show affection and stuff is not the same. Yeah. So
no, it's not.
I think from the way that my in-laws are, I think if I was going to my bro, I'd be getting to play PlayStation, bro. That's it, innit? That's how I can.
PlayStation,
Yeah,
exactly
that. Yeah. So I don't know. And it's funny. It's funny, isn't it? let me put it this way: when I go to my and I'm sure it's like this for both of you as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, bro, you're treated like a king. Yeah, you're made a fuss of. Yeah. My mother-in-law, she's when she's when we go there, she always makes food, obviously, and you know how Indian parents are. And then my missus likes chai. I don't really drink Indian tea, but she always be like, Mick, do you want a green tea? And she'll make me. Do you understand? It's those little things that create a bond.
Yeah.
Does that?
Yeah.
I'll always remember that she always made
true,
makes me green tea, or or she I do some of her admin for her. Like she always come to me for advice on her home insurance or things like that. So those are how you're showing someone respect because you value their knowledge, or I don't know, man. It's just that's what we're there for at the end of the day, right? I don't know if you guys have the same feeling, but I'm pretty sure you do because I know Situl, you go up to Leicester quite often as well, right? And then when you go, to Cali, you always say that you always felt you always feel like you're already part of the fam.
I come back heavier, bro.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
There is Gagan's mom will pre-plan what is going to be served.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty much the entire time I'm there, bro.
There you go.
Like it's just, bro. It's got like I think, and she's such a great cook.
Yeah.
And Babaji, right, Gagan's granddad. Bro, one time we were having lunch, and she made like some gobi aloo parota, right? Aloo
Yeah.
gobi parota. And then Babaji was like, we don't usually get this. We don't usually get this service here.
You know,
He was like, nah, man, this is because we've got a guest, not a guest, but we've got like, the son-in-laws up in the joint.
yeah, exactly.
Like, come more often.
Yeah, pulling out all the stops. But it's true, man.
I think you are treated right. So like me, I got molested quite often for like periods of time. But I'm the kind of person that can't even stay at my own parents' house anymore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, might be there for a week, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it's because it's so chill. Like my father-in-law, I literally see him for 20 minutes, if that, because he's got a shop, which by the time he gets home, we're all in like bed or whatever, or we're out. I think it's a bit different when you have someone elder as well. So Pav's gran is at home, and that obviously changes the dynamic because she's a lot older. So yeah, like I don't know. I think it's like Pav's mom's cool because she's quite young. Like she comes stays with us for a couple of like weekends and weeks and stuff like that. So yeah, I think if it was, I don't know. I personally struggle staying with older people because it's just it's that generational expectation is still there. So like her gran, like you were saying, would like pull up all the stops or whatever, and then Pav's mum and Pam was like, stop fussing, like I'll help myself or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it was a bit different. So when she was in India for a couple of months, so it was just literally us, so me, Pam, the kids, and Pam's mum and dad, right? It's totally different. It's like, bruv, it's my own yard, doing whatever I want, got a couple of naps in every day. Because obviously you've got extra pair of hands, and it's a bit different because they've got like an aunt that lives next door. So one of the brothers lives next door, the other one lives opposite. There's like 3 families that live literally next door to each other. All the brothers, so you've got an extended family in and out of each. Yeah, in and out of,
Just
like
literally
it's in,
living
you know
side
how
by
you just
side.
walk in and out of houses. It's literally like that. So yeah, it's like if I want a beer, I'll literally go next door to Paz's uncle's house, have a beer with him. Don't really drink at Paz's house because obviously the gran. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be alright.
So wait, if you were Garjamai, right? Garjamai, you'd live there though, and you'd basically be like,
Yeah,
living
I'll get
there,
fat,
but going
it's
for
fine.
beers next door.
Situl's got it all planned. Situl's definitely thought about this. Yeah,
I've thought about it. I've thought about it.
But
You know, one of the reasons I thought about it, right? When I started looking at house prices in Leicester, to London.
He's looking at council tax.
Yeah, bro.
You know what? Actually, what makes a massive difference as well is whether you're Garjamai or you've got the daughter-in-law's moving to a house where if there's siblings there as well, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference, both good or bad,
in
bro.
both ways.
It could be either way. Like, yeah, I think if it goes well, it's great. If it doesn't go well, then that can be.
But I tell you what, I think the younger, if they're younger, and Situl could probably vouch for this as well. But when they're younger, because my sister's younger, 8 years younger than me. I know it's Situl's brother's 8 years younger than him, right? It makes a massive difference in a positive way. Because I think me and my sister are now closer than we've ever been because of that stint when Nish, obviously we're at different ages and we're different stages of our life. After your younger siblings catch up to you, don't they now, right? After a point.
Yeah, and then you can't even tell the age. You can't even tell.
Exactly.
You might
exactly.
even
You can't tell at all,
she's
right?
8 years younger than you right now, isn't it?
Once they're married, age does not make much of a difference, or even closer to getting married. But I remember now, I think looking back, like I think my sister probably, we have a great relationship, but she's got a better relationship with Nish than I probably have. Not completely, as in when she comes over, it's like they have more, they have a closer relationship. I could say 2 words to my sister and that's it, but the relationship's still there, but we're still close. Does that make sense? It has an impact because there's someone
true.
there to basically mediate, you know, when I've done something wrong. If I'm like, not even an argument, if I've just said something which I'd normally say, but actually, no, that was wrong. Why did you say that? Because that's where your breakdown relationship is basically. If you're not, if you're not communicating well, or I don't know, man. It's just the presence and energy of someone else there can have an impact in a positive way and negative way, man.
It does change things. Like having to say all the
definitely,
time
bro.
when she moved in, she's like, I wouldn't have survived if Akash wasn't around. Because I that was a time when I was working a lot away at night, and so I wouldn't be around in the evenings. So I wouldn't be at home in the evenings. So when you normally chill after work, I wouldn't be around, right? So could you imagine just being married?
Yeah,
you move in to your in-laws, and your husband isn't around for at least half the week, and you have to chill with your new in-laws.
That's the thing, right? And
that's
then what do you do in that dynamic? Do you, because you can't be in your room, can you? Like, is it okay for you to just be in your room, just chilling, reading a book or watching something, or should you be downstairs with the family watching TV, watching something that you probably don't want to watch? What is it that they're going to watch? Who is in control of who's watching it? Is it, in our house it was whoever has a remote decides what they're watching, right? But in other houses, but like, no, the older person is the one that's deciding what they're watching. Like, all these weird dynamics, bruv, will all play out. It's crazy. If you think about it, if you break it down to that level, it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Just to answer that question, during probation period, you should be downstairs with the fam.
Probation period.
No, of course not, man. Do you know what?
How long is it? How long is probation?
I don't know, man. These days 6 months, isn't it?
Oh, fuck, bro.
It used to be 3.
Little crazy.
It used to be
I
3.
don't know.
Why did
Since
it change?
employment,
Who changed it?
You know what it is, yeah? I think you know what, a lot of daughter-in-laws, I feel like they get a lot of salt if they act themselves, even when they should be themselves. So if they do certain things a certain way in their own house, they should still be themselves. Like if they've done what they, this sounds bad. Yeah, I know. No. What I mean is, what I'm trying to say is, they get a lot of negative comments when they are themselves. So being yourself, okay, if you've come home from work and you're living with your in-laws and you've you're newly married and you've helped cook and you've helped clean the kitchen or wash dishes as well and whatever, you shouldn't be obliged to sit downstairs with the in-laws. You should be able to have time to yourself. I mean, you've just gone to work. You've just come home and cooked as well, right? You want some time.
Well, what if you don't want to even come home and cook, bro?
Exactly. There you go.
What about that? Like, if you want to come home and be like, nah, I don't want to fucking cook. My mom used to cook at home. Exactly. My mom did all the cooking at home, and your mom will do the cooking at home. Exactly. I'm gonna go upstairs, bro.
You should be able to.
She's entitled to say that.
I mean, let's put it this way: I do that, so why can't someone else? It's you know what? Sometimes it's like, I remember how much of a culture shock I had when I moved out, because I was weighted on hand and foot because, I didn't have to wash dishes. I grew up with 2 women in the house who would, I could just give the dish and they'd wash it, right? Because you finish dinner and that's it, right? And you go, I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but I remember we moved out. I was like, oh shit, I think the problem's not, now looking back, actually, maybe the sons need to step up a bit more. And because washing dishes and doing laundry and, I used to do that at uni and stuff, right? I didn't expect my wife to continue to do it when we moved out, but at the same time, it was like, oh wow, this is. But we washed when you're at uni and stuff, you're not washing shitload of pans. You're doing your own laundry. Yeah, this is a continuous cycle because you're now a homeowner or whatever. So actually, you're right. The daughter-in-law's got every right to fucking say your mum's not fucking taught you anything. Yeah, but she wouldn't do that. But it's okay for the mother-in-law to say, your mum's not taught her anything, and tell everyone else.
That's fucked up. If that happens, that's fucked. But that's what Sil was explaining. Sil just explained it, bro. They're literally fucking comparing notes. But that's all that they do, bro. Because now it's not about boasting about your son anymore. It's about bitching on your daughter-in-law. Like, bro.
Yeah. Or you got the other one where it says, nah, even though it's not hunky dory, bro, yeah, everything's
Nah,
hunky dory.
हमारा घर में तो बधाई हमें तो बधाई टीवी जो है कौन बनेगा करोड़पति सांजना चाय मुकी yeah, right, whatever, man.
There's no.
So we haven't really answered the question, bro. We've gone into like we've split the fucking question in pieces. Our daughter-in-laws actually treated like daughters.
Not in every household, man.
But you know what? I reckon they are treated a lot more like daughters by their father-in-laws.
Yes.
And especially those father-in-laws that don't have daughters.
No, I disagree.
You don't
I actually
think?
think it's the opposite.
Okay, so my dad and Pav get on better than me and my dad. Pav and my brother get on better. I mean, it could either be a problem or it could be.
This is why they're ganging up on you, bro.
This is what I mean. I'm losing, bro. Like Mick was saying in all the other podcasts, I'm just the gun wearer. I've basically taken the daughter-in-law's place in my house.
The traditional daughter-in-law.
I think. Do you know what? Actually, that's an interesting dynamic, still. Actually, I never thought about it that way. But you know what, Raj, I agree with you. I think it is advantageous if there's a daughter already in the house.
Why?
Because I feel that if you look at the relationship I have with my dad compared to how my sister has with my dad, yeah. My sister is definitely the fave, bro. Yeah, for my dad. Yeah, it's just
He said it.
He said it openly, and I'm very comfortable with that. So I think but at the same time, and he's like, if I'm not, he'll message her. If he wants to speak to the kids, he'll message her. Why? Because he knows that she's gonna reciprocate straight away. Whereas I'm like, yeah. Yeah, not even just that. Anything, even if he wants to have a private conversation about something, get something off his chest, yeah, he's very, he'll come over and he'll talk to her. So I can, does that make sense? He's very like
that. Yeah, but that's I agree.
At the same time, I don't know why that is, but at the same time, I also feel like Nish isn't very affectionate, yeah, like as in she's not very touchy feely, like hugging people. She's not like. I always feel that, but my dad with my sister is, and I always feel that my dad struggles with his way of showing affection is like, coming over and just saying nice things. Yeah. But at the same time, when two people just don't want to overstep.
Yeah.
That they just don't know how, my dad's like, it's like, I don't know, man. I do feel that he's got a better relationship with Nish because he's got a great relationship with Kashali, obviously, right? But he's very awkward, like, very awkward in that sense. But whereas I think for a mum, it's hard, man. You know why? I always feel like, there's that thing in it that a son will always be the mother's first love or whatever it is. There's that saying, or the first son will always be the mother's first true love, right? I actually think there's some truth in that because at the end of the day, it's like if that's your first true love, and then he's he's obviously he's with, I don't know, man, it sounds really weird, but you know what I mean, isn't it? It's like taken away kind of thing. What does that, where's the dynamic, where's the psychological thing, with mothers from that point of view? Obviously, I don't know, man.
But it goes both ways, bruv, innit? Because I mean, I think a lot of Indian men are mommy's boys.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like it's more likely that you're going to be a mommy's boy if you're an Indian dude than a daddy's boy. That's my opinion.
Yeah, if there's
that's and I think that dynamic adds another factor into everything.
Yeah,
because daddy's like daddy's girl, right? If it's daddy's girl, then she'll get married, and then there'll be a daughter-in-law, which will not replace, but that connection might, the similar connection could grow from that relationship, because the dad has always had a daughter and has seen her grow up and turn into a woman and kind of like, you know, go and get married. So they understand what a woman goes through or what a girl goes through, how a girl becomes a woman. Like they've seen it with their own eyes. They've experienced that happening. So I think that they, and this is why I'm saying I feel like they're more likely to, it's more advantageous. But I think what we're all saying is every fucking family is different, and it could be complete. It could be something that neither of us is explaining, like a situation where there's one parent and everything is fine, or it could be one parent, everything's a mess, or it could be like there's so many different ways, permutations and combinations that it could go. And I think it's all depends on his family, bro.
And I think, you know what the key is? The son-in-law, the son, yeah.
That is 100%.
That is the key if you're going to have a successful relationship with your in-laws or not, yeah. Because what the moves they make, yeah, and how they make them, how they respond is the key. It's not about whether they get along. You know, there's communication between the in-laws and daughter-in-law. It's the moves the son makes, basically, yeah, that will dictate how things are gonna pan out for the rest. You know, the rest.
Because you can, son-in-law, they could make or break it. It could start very well, and then there'll be friction because families will have friction, bro. You fight with your sisters, bro. Yeah, so you're gonna fight. You fight with your wife. You cannot expect for your family not to fight. You cannot expect that, right? It's gonna happen. But how do you respond to it, and how do you make sure that everyone feels heard, especially your wife? Because, like you're saying, bro, you isolate her, it's fucked, right? Like you basically just kind of excluded her from it. But then also you need to make sure that your parents feel heard and feel part of it. So it's that diplomacy is going to make or break it, because then, like you're saying, things will fester if you don't address it or you bring it up.
Gets bigger and bigger underground.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's the guy that has to have the balls to kind of play that out, right? So there is an example, and I'm not going to name names, but so this person I know who lives with his parents with the kind of in-laws and stuff, right? And have been for like ages. It's like, I don't think, from what I've seen, I don't think their daughter-in-law and the parents have such an open relationship per se. The mother-in-law and the daughter are kind of okay. I think it's got to the point.
Wait, hold on. Wait, who's the mother-in-law and the daughter are okay, but who's not okay?
Okay-ish, right?
Okay.
No, but the point is, because the husband doesn't say anything when there's, like, you know, as you said, like when there's issues in the house, or like the expectations aren't met from the daughter-in-law, or the daughter-in-law, who's the wife, right? Says, "Oh, I don't like X, Y, and Z" from the parents.
He doesn't do anything about it.
He doesn't do anything, right? He thinks he's Switzerland, right? So he's like, "Oh yeah, it'll kind of blow over wherever," right? But that isn't addressing the underlying problems, and so I think it's got to a point where the daughter-in-law is like, I can't deal with this. Either we move or they move.
Oh,
like,
shit. Okay.
Yeah, but that's I think, yeah, from what I've seen, I think you just you're proving the point.
So what do you say when you have your conversation? Do you tell him to grow a pair, and or do you just listen to what he has to say? Are you Switzerland in your conversations, bro? Do you tell him though? Do you tell him what your point of view is on this?
Yeah, like, man up, like, deal with it.
But no, he's not.
Yeah, like, look, if your parents are wrong, you just need to tell them.
Look, at the end of the day, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that it's easy to be in these situations and speak up. It's not, right? Especially if there's emotions involved and it's charged situations and it's something that people care a lot about. Like, whatever it is, it can be hard. But if it is, bro, this is what it boils down to. The happiness of your family in these situations will depend on how you behave in those situations.
Exactly, but
That's exactly what you're describing.
Silence only adds fuel to the
it
fire.
does.
Your silence is complicit,
Exactly.
bruv.
It
If you're
does.
silent on a topic, that means you agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your silence is complicit, bruv.
That's
That is it. That's what it means. Like that's how it is interpreted.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's lucky they don't have kids yet, because I think that would make the situation worse. If you think about expectations from parents on, like, you know, like in one of the episodes, you like kind of talking about expectations of like your mother-in-law when you have kids, like what you should and shouldn't do, and like how they used to do stuff, like all the traditions. In that environment, that could explode.
Yeah, that's a pressure cooker,
That
bro.
could
That's just a
explode.
pressure.
Yeah.
No.
So lucky for them, they don't have kids yet. I think the moment they do, I mean, the husband that just has to have some conversations on both sides.
It's true, bro. This is probably the most, like, I don't know, serious question that we've had.
I think we've only scratched the surface on this one.
No, we've definitely scratched it.
Because-
There's so many side angles that we could take from all the things that we have said.
Yeah.
But do you feel like we've answered it?
No.
You don't feel like we've answered it?
I think we've answered it from certain perspectives, from our own experiences and what we've been exposed to. But so I'd say yes, we've answered it from our perspective and our experiences. But like you said, man, there's so many other scenarios that people are going through, and that we can't vouch for even.
No, because you don't. The thing is, you only know what you know.
Exactly.
And your own, or what you've seen from others, friends that have gone through the same thing.
And until you're in that situation, you just can't. You don't know how you're gonna, solve or react or, go about making the decisions that you need to make.
Bro, my I don't know if I'm gonna keep this in.
Here we go.
You know what I mean? The amount of times I start with that, and that fucking ends up in the episode, bro. I don't know if this will go. Yeah. So basically, I was. This is actually to your point, Mick. Your wife will start to get will become so close with your parents in some ways that they will tell her stuff that they've never even told you, or you've never heard from them, and you're like, what? I didn't know this shit happened. So Gagan was like, didn't your mom tell you about? Because I told her, I told Gagan that we're doing this episode and this is the question. She was like, did your mom ever tell you about what your ba did that day? And I was like, what because I heard about the earrings thing, because I remember that. And she was like, no. I said, what, the earrings thing? She was, no, not the earrings thing. I said, well, what happened? And she was like, basically, so as I said, my mom moved from Kenya to England, right? Literally established here, and started from scratch, basically, with my dad and his family living with them. My ba she did not like cooking. She just hated it, right? She just detested cooking. So that whole incident where she was, telling mom that you need to make sure that you come back and cook for everyone, even though she had that minor surgery, was because that she didn't enjoy it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that was the root of a lot of every single brother in every house. There's one thing or one trait that somebody has that is the basis of every fucking argument, right? And you can't change that trait. It's just something that they are, and you need to figure out a way to work with, like a compromise. So that was her thing, right? And my mom was really excited. She was going to see her sister, right, my masi, and she got everything ready and she was good to go. And then my mom went to the shop to help out because she used to work at the shop. They come back home. My ba is in the garden, bruv, yeah, on the chair, lied back with her hand on her head, right? Like in the Bollywood films, like something bad has happened, right? Yeah, man, the guy take your chair, bruv, yeah. And then everyone's like, "What's with you?" Go on, what?
No, go on. No, I'm not going to say it. Go on.
And then she had her hand on her head, and she was like, oh, like, you know, something had happened to her. And then like everyone was like, Sutu. And they said that, and then she goes that I tripped on that bag in the passageway, and I landed on my knee. My knee's really hurting because of that bag, right? Which was Mum's bag, because she was going to.
Even if there was someone else's name on that bag, I know whose bag it was, bro. Yeah, yeah, go on.
And then my mum told my dad, look, my dad said, I'm still going to take you. Like, we'll just make sure Bar's okay, and I'll take you over there. My mum was like, no, I don't want to go. Mum didn't go. She didn't go. She stayed, and she cooked that day, bro, because obviously she had to. But she got so many stories. That generation, bro, the women in that generation are the toughest, bro. Yeah, because they had to deal kind of shit on a daily basis, and also not even having their support network around them, bro. No support network. Bear in mind, and you're dealing with this kind of stuff, and like, you know, my bar's not here, so like, rest in peace and all of that. Yeah, but you have to talk about these things, because these things they're staying with some families, and they're continuing, bro, and they're fucking up other people. So that's why I just feel like,
and you know what, some people,
you need to talk about these things, bro.
Like, that is probably a lesson, like, you know, not a lesson, but that's probably stuck with your mum, because she knows that she's not going to let that happen to the person that.
Right, and I think that's why she's overcompensating now, because she's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, because it might come across as if I'm trying to like indirectly say something, which isn't the case. Yeah, it's trauma, bro, and then that can lead, like you're saying, that could fester, because she might withhold something that she wants to say, but she doesn't.
This is the justification of why my mum's mum probably used to phone up the house and say, no, see Jet.
Oh, lossy.
Hey, bro.
But you know what though? I think, and I can say this about in my household, right? My mum went through something similar. It's different though. You know, sometimes when you're going into a family that's a large family as well, you don't just take it from mother-in-law, you take it from everyone as well. Yeah, everyone. And also, if you show any kind of weakness or whatever, but as you take that shit, basically, I think they grow stronger as well mentally.
They do,
like, you know, and then one day that's it, man. You know what I mean, innit? They'll stand up for themselves over time, right? So, and then no one will fuck with them, right? But at the same time, the sad thing is they don't get the women, you know, the mums or the daughter-in-laws, when they go back in those days, even though they've gone through hell and back, and they still come back the next day. They still keep coming back. Yeah, to be fair, it can take a toll on on your mental health, and you're basically being run like, you know, ragged. Yeah, to for everything. Like, you know, you're literally giving everything, right? They keep coming back, and the sad thing is that they don't get the credit they deserved from the people that have given them that shit, basically, until that person is on their deathbed. It happens, right? Do you know what I mean? Isn't it? Because they're in that, they're in the most vulnerable state, and who's there to take care of them? Who's there to take care of them when that's happening as well?
Yeah. And who's been taking care of them?
And it's like, well, if you had just shown this empathy from the get-go, we could have been somewhere else. Not even just a relationship. You're I don't know, man. Like, as a family, where could you reach if you're singing from the same hymn sheet? Rather than butting heads,
rather than like
trying to get little one-upmanship. She did this today. I know your mom did this today. Where are you? You're stagnant. You're not moving.
It's those fucking cereals, bro. You know how they're having those cereals, the sassles in those things, bro. I think that's like them learning, bro. You know, if there's a sassel that's that way inclined, that wants to do that shit with the door, like the ones Situl was talking about, where they're like saying all of this shit, bro. They watch those things. That's like, do you remember we used to have GCSE? GCSE bite size.
This is what
you watch TV and you
no. But the thing is,
GCSE.
The villain, they don't see what they say is like, oh, Joe, And they don't realize they're just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
them.
Yeah, hypocrites. Bro,
Literally.
is that why they call mother-in-law sussels? The sussels is like, it doesn't sound like a nice word, does it? When you say sussel, my sussel, that is sussel. It's quite a
I mean, when you say it
it's
like
quite
that, nah, it doesn't
aggressive
sound nice, bro.
phrase, right?
Yeah, it's true. Sus.
Sus, isn't it? Sus.
I was going to say, actually, Raj, you touched on something yesterday. Do you remember you said, as at this day and age, like, you know, there's a lot of husbands out there that pick up more slack, yeah? As in I don't think marriage is always 50-50, man. There's always someone that does something better than the other, yeah? But that's not saying that there's any kind of discrepancy in how much that each are doing, right? But these days, obviously, there's more of it that's shared, right? There's, you would be no one's in shock when you go to someone's house and the man's, cooking dinner, or if he's doing those tasks, right? And you said, what did you say? When you're in a doghouse with your wife though, and you've not done something, you're like, go and have a look at what other people's husbands are doing, right? Do you know what? Do you think it's valid, yeah, for the daughter-in-law to say, to say, look, why don't you go to their house, and see what their daughter-in-law is fucking doing, bro, and see how good lucky you've got it.
We don't go to your house, so good, Jenny. I think that's us, bruv. There's we could go on, bruv. We could go on this episode. There's a lot to unpack, and I'm sure we will get questions, good and bad, on this.
I'm not ready for my parents to stop coming around, isn't it?
Well, this is great. Thank you so much. You reached out and you gave us a great question. Give us more. Please do share struggle. And we will find the funny somewhere. And yeah, these types of topics are important to discuss, and we hope that you enjoyed listening. It's definitely been great to bring Situl back to attack this very, very a topic with so much range, I would say. But yeah, man, thank you all for listening. Does anyone have any shout outs?
Shout out Situl, innit, for coming on.
Yeah, shout out Situl, bro.
Yes. Well, I think we should give a shout out to all the daughter-in-laws keeping it real.
Yeah. Shout out to the daughter-in-laws keeping it real. And if you're in any of the scenarios described, yeah, fucking tell your husband to listen to this episode.
Yeah. Look in the mirror,
mate. All right, we'll catch you later next week. Share the struggle, find the funny. See you later. Mick, are you gonna say something?
Nah, bro, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm complicit in it.
See you later, people. Bye.
Bye.